That's right, today we have some crusty cuticles to clear away. In today's video, you'll watch me perform the nail and cuticle care I do for every pedicure. My dear client here had not seen me since March. This is actually a pedicure she had at another place before. And so we had lots of cuticle buildup to clear away. I'll also address a question that I received on another video, and I'll tell you the story of how I decided to get baptized. Welcome to The Nail Therapist. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here today. Welcome to my channel. This is Rachel, aka The Nail Therapist on YouTube. And this video is going to be a quick video, and it's going to show you the steps that I usually take for each pedicure when they come in to see me. The first thing I do is drop some sachet callus care on the client's cuticles. Say that 5 times fast. Oh my gosh. To soften the skin. And then I go in with my favorite nippers, these Stalix Pro 1/4 inch jaw, to trim away all of the length of the nail and get it relatively where I want it to be for filing. Then I'll come in and push back the cuticle. So I'm not actually pushing the cuticle as much as I am the proximal nail fold. Some of the cuticle that's built up on the nail will be able to get swiped away, like you'll see me doing on a few of these nails. And the rest of the cuticle I'll come in later with the efile to remove. And then I come in with the stainless steel file and I shape the nails. This time, the nail shaping time takes me the most time, I think, because I really focus on getting the nail into that perfect shape with the, as much length as what the client wants. Sometimes they want me to go as short as possible. Other times they want me to leave it a little bit longer. This client just wants me to take them down short, so there's a little bit of white showing on the free edge, which is the normal length I tend to use. But I do tend to take a lot of time to get the shape right and make sure that there's no spicules present in the corners. Then I come back in with the efile to remove the cuticle. Now for this particular client, because her nails are very healthy, but she does have heavier cuticle buildup, I'm using the medium grit diamond tapered barrel to be able to remove that heavy cuticle without damaging the nail underneath. And this leads me into a question that I received on another video. This came from Janice Foss 3929. She said, is there a need to efile the toenails when it's a normal nail, not thick? I also see that you go side to side and top to bottom with the efile. From what I have researched, neither of those is a good thing. I'm just trying to help. So there's a couple of things that we need to talk about when it comes to how to use an efile. One, it's different a little bit on toes versus the nails. There's a lot of information out there on the internet that says you absolutely cannot use an efile on the nails, and this is 100% wrong. You can. It's just a matter of using it the right way and the right type of bit for the efile. So yes, on a nail that is not thick and is healthy, generally speaking, I do not use the efile across the entire nail. As you can see what I'm doing here, except for this big toenail, I am not using the entire bit on the nail. I'm just using it to clear away the dead cuticle that's stuck on the nail plate and also smooth away some hardened skin or loose skin along the cuticle edge and the sidewalls right here. On this larger nail plate, it is uneven on the surface, so I'm using it very, very gently to go across the surface of the nail to smooth it down and make it one solid plate. Now with her, you can't tell this from the video, but she has actually very hard nails, and they're a little bit on the thicker side, not so thick that they look thick, but they're very hard to clip through. So she has some extra layers that she's not going to miss, which is why I'm okay with taking the efile across the top of the big nail especially. I'll talk more about it again when we see some more efiling. One of the things you really can't tell from the videos is the hardness or thickness of the nail, unless it's extremely thick and it's a very, very built up nail. But when you see a case like hers, it looks like she has normal thickness. It doesn't look like they're extremely hard, but they are actually on the harder side, and the big toenail in particular is on the thicker side. So it is a little bit harder to clip through. As you can maybe see in some of my clipping, it looks like I'm maybe struggling a little bit to get the nippers through. And that's not because the nippers are dull, it's just because her nail has a lot of extra layers. So you may have noticed that on this foot, I decided to file before pushing back the cuticles. It doesn't really matter what order you do them in. Sometimes I do it one way and then I flip it around. The honest answer is I was talking with this client because she's a good friend of mine, and I wasn't paying attention to the exact order of operations that I was using. I just know that I will go back and do it after I file, because it really doesn't matter if I do it before or after. You can see her pinky toenails especially have a lot of cuticle buildup, basically going all the way down the nail plate. So it's going to be real fun to get the efile out and clear that off. Okay, so again, we're using a medium grit on her nails, and you can see I'm laying it flat against the entirety of the nail because it is covered with cuticle, and it is on the thicker side and ridged as well. So I'm trying to not only smooth it, but also reduce some of the thickness. Now, as Janice asked, she talks about the direction that I'm using the efile. I like to go from right to left to get the bulk of the cuticle off. Then you might see me go from top to bottom like I am here, very gently to continue to get the pieces of cuticle that are stuck to the nail plate, as well as maybe get into the sidewalls a little bit. Now, there was a little bit of a hiccup there. It was so built up, I had to go back over and over and over again, but the other nails are not as bad. So I'm going to go across along the cuticle edge and along the sidewalls, and then I kind of use the side of the barrel to smooth out the free edge as well to make it a better shape if I need to. But the whole time I'm doing these little toes, I'm not going across the entirety of the nail except for on that pinky toe because, like I said, it was a little bit extra thick and ridged, so it needed to be smoothed out. Now, I think Janice was saying that what she's found online, that's something you shouldn't do. And I don't know which site she's looking at, but logically thinking about it, there's really no reason why you can't do that, go across and then go down, as long as the nail can withstand it. Like I was saying before, if it is a normal thickness or even thinner, of course you don't want to go across the nail plate. That's just going to make it thinner and less, sturdy, and not great for the client at all, right? But when you have extra buildup of layers, it's okay to use a very gentle efile. I'm not using carbide. I'm not using ceramic. I'm not using anything really heavily gridded. It's very, very gentle. And if you're not familiar with the diamond bits, they can go from extra fine to coarse. So I'm using the medium on her just because I know her cuticle buildup is a little bit extra. Otherwise, if it was not as bad, I probably would have used the fine. So it's I don't know exactly what grit number you would liken it to, but I know with a natural nail file, it's usually 180. Sometimes you can use a 100 for those real heavy, thick nails, but the 180 is usually what you use. And this diamond bit is about that same grit. So it's very, very gentle. I hope that helps clear up some of those questions for you guys. If you have any more questions about anything else I'm doing, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. This may possibly be one of my favorite steps in the whole pedicure. After the foot has been in the foot bath and soaking for a few minutes, I'm able to go in and around the nail and clean out any extra debris that may be hiding up underneath there. And so I'm using the sidewall lifter here and then the ingrown toenail rasp as well. Okay, so now we're going to refine the area with the soft flame diamond bit. Again, it's a very gentle grit. I think this is also a medium grit. And I just go slightly under the proximal edge to clear out any of that loose skin that may be detaching from the nail plate, and clean up around the nail just to give it that really refined, polished appearance. This process I go from left to right, so the efile is moving in a reverse direction. It's on 9 or 10,000 RPMs, maybe 8, depending on your efile. I have switched to the Coupa Mani Pro. I love it. So it's a little stronger than the one that I had before. I was at a 12 before, and I only need 8 or 9 for this particular efile. And I'm barely touching the skin, and I'm trying to avoid touching the nail, especially along the proximal nail fold, because I don't want to leave those rings of fire as the new nail grows in. for any of those who are interested about my story of the baptism, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about it. So I came to faith about 9 years ago, and I've been wanting to get baptized for a while, but I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if I just waited until my kids were a little bit bigger and they wanted to get baptized with me? So it's gotten to the point where my kids are now 13, 11, and 7, and although they are quote-unquote believers right now, they haven't made the decision to get baptized yet. And so I didn't want to force that upon them, and I didn't feel like waiting any longer. I really just feeling like God was urging me to do it. So I was going to do it last month. My church has a baptism night once a month. So I was going to do it in June, but my son was away at Scout camp the week that they were doing the baptism, and I really wanted him to be there. So I said, okay, I'll do it in July. Well, then they got the date for the July baptism, and my oldest daughter is away at her camp. So I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? I can't wait till August because sports will be in session, and I don't know if it's going to interfere with the baptism schedule. So I was on a walk one afternoon, and I was just talking to God, and I was asking him, God, should I go ahead and do it even though Alexandra isn't here? And I just felt like he was saying, yeah, go ahead and do it. She'll understand. And so I was like, okay, cool. But I wasn't trusting myself in hearing his voice. So I was like, okay, God, if you want me to go ahead and get baptized, then I need you to send me a sign to let me know that I should get baptized this coming week. And I kid you not, guys, the second that I asked for a sign, these sprinklers popped up out of the ground and started spitting out water right at me. And I was like, ah! And I, was a little discombobulated for a second. And then I realized how funny that was because, obviously baptism, you have water. So God was just throwing water on me, being like, yes, it's okay. Go get baptized. So I was like, all right, God, I got you. So I went ahead and signed up, and my 2 younger kids were able to go with my husband to watch. And so that was it. It was great. I felt really great doing it. And I'm so happy that I did. And then my daughter came back the next week, and I told her, and she was super happy for me and gave me a hug and was not angry at all for missing it. So all was good there. So yeah, that was my story, and God is great. I love the things he can do to open your eyes if you're just willing to see it. It's amazing. And just like that, the summer is almost over. We only have 2.5 weeks left of summer vacation. It makes me very sad. Have you guys done anything fun this summer or have any plans before the end of the summer? Let me hear in the comments what you've done so I can kind of live vicariously through you. All right, so the before and afters are going to be coming up very shortly. I'd love to hear in the comments if you prefer this format where it's just more of a quick format where you see all of the fun cleaning, or if you like the longer format where you see the entirety of the pedicure. Let me know in the comments what you prefer. And if you haven't already, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and like button. And I will see you on the flip side with my next video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you soon.